Good morning, everyone. Nice to have you back. So, before we begin, I just want to share with you we're going through a season right now of isolation, I should say. We're not able to get to the studio. If you don't have blocks, you can use something like a book. These are like strange foamies that I have in my house. I don't know, but feel free to get creative. If you don't have blankets that are easily foldable or they're not. And as we grow and as we go on through the channel, I'll start to offer you more advanced postures using props, pillows, blankets, and stuff. So don't worry, we'll get to that. But for now, good morning. And we will get started with today's class. Oh. So, for today, I do encourage you to grab a blanket or one of those variations that I had suggested. Your strap, we're going to need that, and a block, of course. So a little disclaimer. Please know I cannot be responsible for injuries that happen inside your home through this video. Please listen to my instructions to the best of your ability. However, if you feel pain or uncomfortable at any time, please come out of the pose. There's no need to find pain in our yoga practice. We want to be finding ease and stability and peace through the posture. So always keep your limitations at heart. You can find me www.thatlovingvoice.com. Soon I'll be having a curriculum program launched online. This is a teaser from the first series, which is looking at the neutral spine and alignment from heel to the crown of the head. Today, our climax posture will be the climax posture of that first series. So it's a standing big toe hold. And depending on where you are in your practice, we may be able to lift or lengthen as we see fit. And let me see. Yes, thank you for your donations. They are very appreciated. They enable me to develop my practice for you. For example, with better quality video, better quality audio. So thank you. And we'll get started. We'll come down on our backs. Now you can just open the legs a little wider, or sure, I should say the heels a little longer from the buttocks. If you want, actually, you can come into a total Shavasana here with the legs long. So that will depend on your lower back, how comfortable you are in this position. If you have lower back pain, it might be more comfortable to bend the knees. You can let the arms relax down by the side and let the forehead soften. Let the eyes soften. And let the lips soften. You can catch the breath. Let the exhalation be heavy. And the inhalation to be light. You can let the chest soften and the spine is long and neutral. The hips are heavy, thigh bones are heavy. Palms and soles of the feet are open and still. The tongue, the jaw are unhinged. Tongue softens down into the back of the throat. The exhale is heavy. But the inhale is light. My offering of a mantra today, of course, you can choose your own. But today, my offering, continuing with this series on love, inhaling, love keeps. Exhaling, no record of being wronged. Inhaling, love keeps. Exhaling, no record of being wronged. And as we contemplate this truth, let us turn it over, examine it, explore its meaning, all of its nooks and crannies. Love keeps. No record of being wronged. What does that look like to you? What type of image might you find here? What type of colors become present? Maybe you see chains breaking. Maybe you see a washing away. Or if you feel like you have been wronged, in your mind, I invite you to write that down in pencil on a piece of paper, whatever statement, whatever sentence could describe that. You can write why if that is helpful. As you write this down, you can reread it back to yourself. Now we come back to this mantra, inhaling love keeps. No record of being wronged. And we sort through these things, and maybe there are more pieces of paper, maybe there are more documents, maybe there are more documents hidden away in the hearts of others against us, mistakes that we have made, things that we may have done with evil intent. And we see all of those files, all of those documents piled up against us. But we know that love keeps no record of being wronged. So now let us make a personal decision. I have a choice. I can either allow for these records, these documents to be stockpiled against me. I can allow them to be stockpiled against others. Or I can come back to that first page that I wrote. I remind myself of what it said. And now I can take my imaginary eraser and I can invite love to wash away my record of wrongdoing. I can invite love to forgive the wrongdoings of others. If I hold that grudge, why not hold the eraser instead and be set free? Now, the passage we have been looking at, love is patient and kind. Love holds no record of being wronged. Love is not boastful or proud or rude. Love does not rejoice when evil prevails, but love is glad when truth wins out. Allow your heart now to walk with this eraser, and one scrub at a time to wash away love keeps no record of being wronged. Love keeps no record of being wronged. Love keeps no record of being wronged. I invite you to continue embodying this with your breath practice. Inhaling, exhaling. We'll take maybe 3 more breaths. And then we can begin to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. And we can exhale both of the knees to the chest. Just softening the hip creases. And letting the spine be long. Now here we can lengthen that left leg long. Right knee stays bent, just opening through the hip flexor now. Left thigh anchors down, both feet are flexed. Letting the spine be long now. Of course, if we feel the spine being compressed, so I do want like a somewhat neutral spine here. If I'm really compromising, then I want to lift this bent leg a little bit more so that this is just more of a natural bend here so that my spine can be neutral. And I anchor that thigh bone away from my head, uh, hollowing those groins like we had previously explored. So if I can find that sensation with a greater bend in my hip crease, then that's okay. But I don't want to do it at the compromise of my lower back. Now I exhale. I lengthen this right leg long. I'm just going to take a nice full breath here, holding behind the thigh. I'll bend the same knee again, open it out to the side. And now both of my legs to center. I switch, lengthening now that right leg long, opening through the hip flexor, opening through the thigh bone as it anchors down. That right foot now is flexed, left foot flexed as well. And same thing, if I'm compromising the integrity of the spine, I just want to ease up on this left leg. I anchor that thigh bone away from my head so it draws down towards the heels, hollowing through the groin. And if I can, find a soft left hip here without compromising the integrity of my lower back. So I'm not hiking down, flattening the lower back on the ground. I want a nice natural lift, a natural curve in the lower spine. Then I just find that healthy place in this left leg to be able to manage that. Now here I'll take an inhale, clasping behind the back of the leg. You might feel a great indifference in your body today. Maybe the right side is tighter than the left or vice versa. And here now I exhale, bending that knee, opening it out to the side. I exhale both the knees to center. Now I'm going to stay here. I zip the core in. I can use my hands here on the ground. I could open them out to the side if that helps. I draw the belly button towards the spine as now I let my legs be approximately 90 degrees. A 90-degree leg will be more difficult than, for example, maybe lifting the legs or drawing the knees closer to the chest is easier. So really floating those knees on top of the hips is more challenging here for the core. So we're going to stay here. Now remember, you can do this with the feet touching the ground or just barely touching the ground. So my toes are touching right now, or the pads of my feet, and I can do this lengthening now through the right leg. Exhale back to center. Exhale through the left leg and come back to center. So I can do this here also with the knees bent. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale back. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So now we're going to come back to center, just staying here, floated, anchored. So if you feel like you're really, really back bending, really fight to draw that core in, because now we want to have a neutral spine, yes, but we don't want to over-compromise the back bend. This can actually cause harm and damage. So we engage through the core here, really pulling the belly button towards the spine so as not to cause harm through the back. Now we're going to do the same thing again. If you need, you can always stop and take a little break. And as we do this now, we're going to, yes, apply our teaching technique, but also apply our mantra. Love keeps, no record of being wronged. Love keeps, no record of keeps, no record of being wrong. Now we'll continue. Please find your own rhythm. Keep the jaw soft. We'll take about 3 more breaths. Continue to pull the abdomen down. And now we'll bring the feet down. We're going to anchor through the heels. We lengthen the arms long. We sort of walk the shoulder blades together now. We can press down with the hands. I prefer palms up, or neutral might be even better. Heels are under the knees. Keep the feet parallel. That's very important. Bring the heels under the knees. Anchor the elbows down the upper arms. Press into the feet. Lift the hips. Now we can walk the shoulder blades together, keeping the weight on the meat of the shoulders, not on the neck. So if my feet are open and I'm flexing my buttocks, I don't want an external rotation. Now we're going to look at this posture in depth in series number 2, which is geared towards back bending. This is our Setu Bandhasana bridge pose, or pont en français. So we'll look at that in much more detail in our next series. We can exhale now, releasing down. And we can just soften here now, the knees again to the chest, letting the spine be long and neutral. And now we can exhale, releasing to the side. And we'll just come up onto all fours. Caring for the shoulders as well as for the spine, we can find our cat-cow, exhale to ground. Inhale to arch. And we can find that mantra. Love keeps. No record of being wronged. Carry on with your own rhythm. And don't be shy to really turn over the meaning in your mind. Now we'll come back to center. And here we draw the abdomen, the belly button up. We broaden to the back of the shoulders. Now we're just going to collapse the shoulder blades together and broaden them. So now this is more of an isolation through the muscles of the shoulders, as well as an exercise in somewhat maintaining a neutral spine, including a neutral neck. So I'm not doing anything too crazy or weird with my chin. I'm not. And then I can walk the hands forward now, exhaling the hips back for my downward dog. As I lengthen the hips away from the shoulders. And if you look at my hands and my wrists here, can't really see my hands, but my butt's gonna hit the wall. But we can turn sort of the fingers forward so that I'm not internally rotating, but externally rotating. And then my arms should go from this to this. So there's an external rotation happening where the triceps come towards the temples. You see that? It's this scooping in and this sort of opening out through the hands. Now, it may be slightly exaggerated, but this is the proper placement of the arms. We will get to that as well as we move along. Now, we look to the hands, we step, mini, or, we can even move the foot up here like this if you need. Coming forward, now we bend the knees. We've worked on this flat back. Inhale. Exhale, release. Shrug the shoulders back, open the heart. Keep the chin somewhat neutral as we inhale to lift. We don't want to crunch through the lower back. And we exhale, crunch through the cervical spine. Inhale to rise. Exhale to swan dive, flat back. So I'm not rounding like this as I go down. I keep that integrity, folding the belly towards the thighs. I release. Now I inhale to rise again, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale to lift all the way up. Exhale, hands come down. We'll do that again. Inhale, love keeps. Exhale, no record of being wronged. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now, tailbone is heavy here, feet are parallel. I'm going to take my hands on the back of the neck and draw the chin towards the throat. Shoulders come down the back. So again, I'm just stretching through the back of the neck. And you see my shoulders not lifted, they're dropped. Now I have a pretty big double chin, but that's okay. And now we can exhale, release. Maintaining this length through the spine, drawing up and out through the crown. The tailbone is heavy. Continue to zip here through the core now. We're going to inhale, balance on one leg, and just lift that knee. So now this is a challenge. We draw this thigh bone back, zip through the core, lengthen up and out the crown of the head. As we just keep this nice 90-degree angles hereabouts, shoulders draw down the back. We exhale, release. Switching sides, now coming onto the right leg, lifting now that left leg about 90 degrees, scoop the core in so you really see I have support here of the spine. Shoulders draw down the back, and I take this thigh bone and I lengthen it behind. Sorry, now I'm lifting, hiking through that foot. That's all right. As I continue to soften this hip down so that both hip bones here are on even plane. Exhale, release. Now we're going to inhale, rise, lengthen the arms overhead. Feet are parallel under the hips thereabouts to the hips. And you can start, if you want to start, lengthening the arms, maybe with the arms out like that. I prefer palms up here, draws the shoulders down. But you can do whatever you want. Maybe bring the hands together, start pressing the hands. Maybe cup the fingers. And lengthen and broaden through the back body. That's okay. It takes time to be able to do things like this. Okay, now we inhale back to we release down on an exhale. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, the hands come down now. We take a step or a jump to our plank posture. Flex through the quads here if you're in a full plank. Broaden through the back of the shoulders. Soften the elbows back. Chest floats. Continue to scoop through the core as we exhale down. So we're going to come onto the belly today. Bring those hands under the elbows. Scoop the shoulder blades together. Chin stays towards the throat. Love keeps no record of being wronged. Big toes are together. Buttocks are engaged, but not overworking. Now, we're going to come forward onto the elbows. If you have your block or your book, you can bring it between the hands. We want for there to be a straight line from the middle finger to the elbow to the shoulder. So it looks like this. I'm not out here, nor am I like this, but I'm like this, I'm like this. We get that drawing inwards of the elbow. We're going to work on that as well moving forward in our downward dog series. We're going to take time to work on that. Okay, so once we have that alignment, broaden through the back of the heart, flex the quads, and lift the belly. Chin stays towards the throat here. Lift that belly button to support the spine, like there's a big beach ball under the belly. Love keeps no record of being wronged. And now we exhale with control coming down. We remove our block, hands back under the elbows, shoulder blades draw together so I'm not rounded here. I scoop them in and back, chin towards the throat. Engage those shoulder blades together. Big toes are touching, so my legs are internally rotated. Now my knees are flexed, I guess, or engaged. The quads are flexed. I pour the weight into the feet. So a lot of people like to lift. You can if you know your body, that's okay. It's actually more challenging to press the toes down and try to keep opening the chest and scooping the shoulders down the back. Now, if you can, press into the hands and lift the chest. Open the heart through the door of the arms and exhale back. Staying here in our downward dog. Now again, we can gently bend through the knees, opening the sitting bones back. Keep finding that external rotation of the arms, which we have spoken about. Back of the neck is relaxed. Love keeps no record of being wronged. So now we'll bring that left foot to the center of our downward dog and we'll lift that right leg up. So reviewing what we worked on yesterday, the toes point to the ground. And from here, we just exhale that foot forward. We're going to come right away into a warrior one. So we anchor that heel down. Now we scoop those hips sort of towards the front. And we just find a position that's comfortable for the legs. Opening from the inner groin through the center of that back leg. And this knee in particular stays on top of the ankle. We can inhale the arms up as needed. Now, if you're more comfortable, you can walk this foot forward. Open here through the front of the hips. We'll find a nice warrior two. Again, this knee stays on top of the ankle, opening from the center of the groin through the sole of the foot so that we can have an internal rotation here. Again, the elbows on top of the knees. And just for fun now, we'll extend through this front leg. Now I'm going to take a little step back. So I soften this hip crease towards the center of the sole of the foot as I reach this arm ahead. Now see, I'm opening through this side of the body and sort of engaging, crunching through this side. As I bring my hand here, Now I'm just going to keep this back hand on my sacrum and shrug the shoulder back. Engage the core as I just look to the sky. I keep the chin towards the throat, so you can actually, I'm not going to lie, I do prefer actually to bring the gaze down by that back foot. It, in my opinion, helps to keep a more neutral spine, especially cervical spine. It's just so typical to look to the sky. Now we'll exhale back, inhale, rise. Now exhaling, this is going to be more of a challenge. We bring our hands to the ground. We turn onto the sole or the toe pad, excuse me. Now if you have your block or your book, you're welcome to take it between under the hands to help support this posture, but we're going to stay here for a few breaths, okay? If you don't need your block, you don't need it. You could come onto the fists if that helps. But here now, our goal is just to soften into that bent leg, hip crease. If it helps you, you can bring your knee down. You might already be here. If you are, good job. You're listening to your body's needs. For those of you who are happier to stay up, you're welcome to do that. Continue scooping the core towards the back body, broaden through the back of the shoulders, chin towards the throat, engaging through that back quadricep and softening the right hip. Now, we're going to exhale. If you're comfortable on your knee, come down. If you need a blanket, put your blanket under the knee, okay? That's greatly going to help you if you've had a knee surgery or if you have pain. Now, we're going to lengthen through the back of the legs. Draw the hips away and lengthen, through the front leg. Now, if you need to be up here like this, just come, chin stays in towards the throat. So again, I'm not rounding here. I really want to fight to open that pelvic floor back. The pubic bone drops down as the belly folds forward, and I fold into that hip crease. This thigh bone draws away and anchors as the groin hollows. Now I exhale, the foot comes back down. I bring my hands forward. I lift up through that back leg. Coming to my plank, I can sort of scoot my blanket aside. Take my strong hand position. I exhale. Inhale to my cobra. If I want, I can lift up. And I exhale back. Love keeps no record of being wronged. Now, we're going to draw that right foot to the center. I'm going to switch sides. And we lift that left heel up. Toes point straight to the ground. Engage through the core. Exhale, scoop that foot forward, all the way forward if you can. If not, just walk that hand slightly forward. I'm going to drop the heel down and right away go for a nice warrior one. So the hips sort of scoop forward as I inhale to lift the arms overhead. Now this knee stays on top of that ankle, and I find a nice straight line from the groin to the inner arch of the foot. Love keeps no record of being wronged. I exhale to open. Yay. It's like I'm surfing. Again, a nice neutral line from the inner groin to the sole of the foot. And a nice lengthening action here from the groin to the knee stays approximately on top of the ankle. And mind you, the toes of this front leg are pointing straight ahead in the same direction as the thigh bone. So I'm not collapsing in, nor am I collapsing too far out. But the knee, the thigh, and the foot are pointing in the same direction. Now we're going to inhale, lengthen. We can walk the foot in if that helps. Soften this hip towards the inner sole of the foot as I lengthen this arm overhead. And I drop this hand down now here. As I continue to open through the left side, I crunch here through the right side of the torso. It's my left foot that's anchored down in front. I can look to the sky here. I can lift my hand if I want. But here I'll exhale this hand to the sacrum bone and draw my gaze down to this back foot thereabouts. Chin stays in towards the throat. Love keeps no record of being wronged. Now I'm going to exhale back, inhale, lift, exhale, down. Now, if I need my block on the inside of the ankle, I go ahead and place it for some support. And if I need, of course, I drop this back knee down. I broaden through the back of the heart. If I'm lifted, I flex through that quadricep. And wherever I am, I soften through that left hip as I gain integrity through engaging that foot all the way to the knee, to the hip. So that left leg is engaged here. I'm not just willy-nilly, like, for example, sometimes now I have a bad left hip, so I'm going to demonstrate this with as much self-care as I can. But some people, their foot's like drawn in, their knees like crash out to the side, and they're like trying to like force their body. And I'm just like, please stop. Bring your sole of the foot under the knee, like ease up to a position. Even if you need to do this here, that's okay. You can bring your hands to the hip. I would rather see you have a good alignment of the knee to the ankle rather than like forcing yourself into some terrible position for your body. That's the point of a yoga practice, is to align, to find stability and peace. Rather than forcing yourself into painful positions, do not do that. Please listen and have intelligence in the way you support your body. Okay, now come back to your plank pose. Oh, excuse me. Now, yes, we'll bring that blanket under the knee. And we float the hips back. Now, same thing. If you need blocks, go ahead and grab them. This is a variation if you have some supports like this. Now, not everybody does, so this is why I didn't offer it. You can just come up here and balance with the hands on the hips. Again, this thigh bone draws down as the belly floats forward, shoulders stay back. So my spine is quite neutral. Of course, this lumbar spine, there's a gentle curve, gentle rounding that's happening there naturally, as it does in forward bends, but I'm not forcing, nor am I rounding on purpose. I continue to fight for that neutral spine here, okay? Engaging and lifting through the core. Love keeps no record of being wronged. And this left thigh bone draws down as that hollow, or that groin hollows back and opens, all right? Now we can exhale, coming forward once again. We lift up, come to our plank. You can move your blanket to the side as you see fit. Keep that hand alignment. Now we're going to work on this too as we move along. Spread the fingers, draw the elbows on top of the wrists, on top of the shoulders. So I'm not back here, I'm not in a downward dog right now. I'm in a plank. So my hips are drawn forward, my core is engaged, and I have this alignment here
through the shoulder, through the hand. From here, I can relieve myself, bringing the hands under the elbows. We see that now. We can do a cobra like this, but that's not what I'm teaching. I'm teaching the hands directly under the elbows. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Love keeps no record of being wronged. Even my failures are being washed away through forgiveness and self-forgiveness. I can forgive myself too. Of course, if I learn from those mistakes. Now I press down, roll the shoulders down the back. There's a looping action that occurs. Now my husband is a good demo of this. He sort of like hikes himself a little forward, like he's like shooting forward. Open the hip flexors, engage the core, and shoot the shoulders down the back so the heart is actually opening and looping back. Now exhale. We can come to our downward dog. Good, so now we're gonna look to the hands. We can take a step or a jump forward. Again, we inhale to our flat back. We exhale, releasing down. We inhale, rise. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. So now, I'm just changing directions. Now we're going to come into more of our climax posture. We're preparing now for this final series here. So anchor through the left leg, and we'll come up onto the toes, maybe 1 or 2% weight on the toe as we sort of stabilize here through the body. Now this might actually be enough for you. In our series, we're going to work up to this posture. We'll do it at the beginning, and we'll do it here at the end, so that we can even take a before and after shot of how the body has transformed throughout, okay? So this thigh bone presses back. We gently lift through the kneecap, draw the core in, engage, lift and open, chest is bright. So now we're lifting through this leg here. And for today, actually terribly sorry, okay, no. For those of you who have a strap, we can take it. I'm sorry if this is disruptive. But because we didn't use it at the beginning of class, I'm hesitant to sort of draw it in now. For those of us who are happy, we can stay right here like this. For those of us who can reach the toe, you can stay just like this. For those of us who want to extend and have a strap, you can bring the strap around the sole of the foot. Now, I want to show you. Again, I'm not hiking in like I had previously told you. The sole of the foot is under the knee. Okay, we've got that. This thigh bone presses back. You should know what that looks like by now. I'm pressing here the knee against the leg, or the elbow against the leg against the elbow, so it's strong and engaged. From here, with that healthy alignment, I can consider, now I might be down here even, that's okay. From here, now I can consider lengthening and lifting. Okay, now wherever you are, whatever that might look like, you might even not need this strap. Continue to press that thigh back, zip the core, neutral spine. Okay, so we'll stay here another breath or so. And we can exhale. Release, changing sides. Now, same thing. If you have your strap, feel free, just throw it over your shoulder for now. Again, thigh bone engages back. Draw the weight onto this foot. Nice engagement through the length of the spine. We come 2% onto the toes. And if you're comfortable now, just lift that leg. You might want to stay right here. You might want to support under the leg. That's okay too. Try to keep that through the core. Now, if you're more comfortable and you want to use your strap, you can take it around the sole of the foot, but remember that alignment from the foot to the knee to the hip. So I'm not all screwed up here. I'm in alignment. I have that nice anchoring. And from there, I can consider lifting, drawing this hip down, zipping through the core as this right thigh presses back. Now, I prefer to practice without a strap. And I have a tendency to hike this left hip up, so I need to really work on softening that hip down and away from my shoulder and engaging through the core to support that action. We'll take another breath or so. And we can exhale. Release. Now to close this off, I'm terribly sorry. If you have knee pain, please get yourself some good supports here for the buttocks, okay? And you can widen the legs to start. And just sort of, you can let the spine round here if you have knee pain. And just support yourself here with the buttocks as you come down into a squat. Now, if you're healthier in your body or your knees, then I welcome you to just find that as you see fit. And if you don't need this support under the buttocks, then you can remove it. But we're just gonna stay here, all right? So we're gonna bring those elbows to the knees. We're gonna lengthen the spine so that I'm not rounding, and I soften again into these hip creases as I let the chest open. I press into the soles of the feet, engaging through the hips. So you see here, this is still an active posture, even if I'm not, even if my weight is largely supported. Okay, and now I'll show you from the side. So I'm going from something like this into something like this. And now I'll even show you from the back. So here I'm round. I lift and I engage. Okay, so those shoulders draw down the back. I engage through the core. As the chest brightens. We'll take one more breath. Now we exhale and release. Now press into the soles of the feet. If you're comfortable with this, bring the weight slightly forward. You can, okay, I can move up on my own. We're gonna close off just with a nice little wide squat here, letting the hips sort of open and become free. Again, that knee stays on top of the ankle, so I'm not collapsing inwards. I'm opening an external rotation. Spine is neutral. Now we'll do this one last time. If you can, let the arms just open. And if you wanted, you could even lift them overhead. And now we'll come to center. We can sort of heel toe in. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan diving. Releasing down. Inhale, flat back. And I'm going to slowly bend the knees and bring the buttocks down. I lengthen the legs forward. Now, I'm going to take my blanket, if I have it, to sit on it like we did last time. Now, again, we're going to just find this open leg posture here to sort of stretch through the hip at the same time as doing a nice little quadricep. stretch. It's a good place to start because we'll get into the hip. We will. It's delicate because of the knee, so it's going to take some time to enter into that in a way that is helpful, seeing that I'm not there with you right now. I don't want you to get injured because I can't assist you one-on-one. Though we can do online private lessons. If you're interested, just send me an email. So here, thigh bone draws down. Again, long spine, shoulders scrub down the back. Chin comes in towards the throat. I fold my belly forward. Soften that left hip down to the ground. So this is really a posture that works on that grounding of the femur bone action. So the femur bone is this thigh bone here. It's the longest bone in the body, by the way. Like there's a sandbag on that hip, it draws down into the ground, and we can find that action. You'll notice that it sort of engages through the hip here as it roots itself down, and there's an openness that occurs here in the hip as that thigh bone is heavy, 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 and the belly floats forward. Chin in towards the throat. So you see there's a long spine here. I'm not pulling, I'm not holding my breath. I'm breathing. A nice healthy roundedness from the sacrum bone all the way out the crown. It's like a beautiful rainbow arch. It's even from every point in the vertebra as much as is humanly possible. So no one area is straining. Again, we anchor that thigh bone down. And even that right leg here, the bent leg, is anchoring down as well. Now we lift the chest up first, then engage through the core as we lift, and we'll switch sides. If you're more active, then I encourage you to turn this into a core exercise by bringing the fists or the hands down and switching by lifting the legs and the body. Okay, so I'll show you here as well on this side. So same principle. Now, if you need a support under the knee at any time, you're welcome to. Today I'm feeling more open. We bring the sole of the foot forward, nice long, healthy limb. Shoulders draw down the back, chest is open. The belly folds forward and flexible. It's because I have strength through the internal core hip region that enables me to find this action through the inner structures of the body rather than the external. The hands are here as a support, so to help you get there. So you create that tension with the hands on the foot, but you draw the shoulders down the back and you really engage through the shoulder blades here. You scoop the belly in, that right thigh bone anchors, and it's the action of a hinge bending forward rather than rounding and reaching, okay? So we want to bend at the waist, at the hip crease, as that thigh bone hollows back, the belly folds forward. Eventually, you might feel like you can start to round in a healthier way. That's okay. Finding that beautiful rainbow from the sacrum bone all the way to the crown of the head. Love keeps no record of being wronged. Now we'll inhale back to center, opening the chest, engaging the core. And we'll close with, I really want to give you a little hip stretch. So we'll start with the soles of the feet together. You can hold the knees here with the hands or use some blocks. If you have them, you could use pillows even under the knees here like this. Just make sure they're the same height. So you can just support the legs like this. You can go even higher if you need, okay? So this is comfortable. Okay, so from here, we just let the belly fold forward. You'll feel a stretch on the inner thighs. Wherever you are, that's perfectly fine. Draw the shoulders down the back, so this time we won't round. Love keeps no record of being wronged. And now we'll come back to center. Again, if you're stronger in your body and you want to get a little core exercise, you can cross the legs and lift the body up. Exhale, sit down, cross the other way, lift the body up. So you can do those between all of your seated postures to gain strength. Now, right, okay, so I wanted to start to stretch through the hip. Okay, so this is going to be a whole series on its own. We'll remove our blanket. If you have something higher, I would encourage you to take something higher, like some books or like 3 pillows that are stable, stacked on top of each other. And here now we'll just soften this knee down. So this is what it looks like from the front. The knee is pointing almost straight ahead, and this other leg is sort of just softening in. So it's kind of like if I was sitting cross-legged. You see this leg is kind of in that position, but the knee is forward. So again, if I'm having a hard time getting the knee to the ground, I need a higher support. So stack a couple more blankets, a couple more blocks up there, and this should help you feel a good stretch through the hip, okay? So we're going to turn this into a little twist here. Lengthen my spine and twist to the side, to the right side. Now I can exhale back to center. If I want, I can do my little core exercise if it's possible, and I will switch. So now it's that left foot that comes down. The knee points pretty much straight ahead. I get my support on this base. And I fold this knee in here. Anchor this left hand, the right hand lifts. And I exhale, hooking that elbow to the knee, long spine, I twist. Exhale, we come back. Were you doing your mantra? I shouldn't always have to remind you. Now we exhale. Lengthening, we can remove our supports, our blocks. Now we'll come down one vertebrae at a time. Onto the back. And shoulder blades together. We open the palms out to the side, to the sky, and root the arms, the upper arm bones down. Press into the feet, lift the hips. Press into the upper arm bones to lift the chest. Now, you can press the arms down here, especially if you have a bulkier body. Let the arms sort of widen and walk the shoulder blades together. Keep the weight on the meat of the shoulders, not on the neck. And as if you had a block between the knees, don't externally rotate, but scoop the knees in so the knees are in alignment with the hip bones. Now, if you have a more flexible body, you could consider clasping the hands together. Keep the weight on the shoulders, not the neck. Love keeps no record of being wronged. And we can gently exhale, releasing, coming down. Now we'll just take a few moments here with that mantra, love keeps no record of being wronged. And now we can just wash the knees one side to the next. We exhale, the legs come down. We inhale to center. Exhale the legs to the other side. Inhale to center. It's up to you if you want to come back to this previous leg lift. That's optional. And we'll finish just bringing the knees to the forehead and rounding. And we can exhale, release. Now preparing for Shavasana. So if you have a blanket, you can place this under the head. You could place a pillow under the head. You can cover your body with a blanket. I'll do a separate video on Shavasana at another time. Let the limbs grow long. So for those of you who are not familiar with Shavasana, literally the arms and legs are on the ground wide, just like this. The body rests completely in stillness. And of course, you cover yourself up with blankets. You can put even like a face cloth over your eyes. You can put on your sweater, your socks. You let the body and the bones totally settle. You catch the breath. Letting the body find total stillness. The exhalation is heavy. The inhale is light. Love keeps no record of being wronged. Let our souls be washed clean. Let there be rebirth through forgiveness. Let there be new light, friends, and even our enemies. Let that record be erased. Love and forgiveness. You can deepen the breath in the body. And one finger at a time, we can begin to crack life back. And the toes. Love keeps no record of being wronged. And we can begin to rock the thigh bones. And bending one knee at a time, we can roll to the side. Using the arm as a pillow. Let us take a moment to give thanks for one thing we are grateful for. And when you're ready, letting the head be heavy, you can roll up one vertebra at a time. We can come sit up on our block, on our pillows, on our blanket for some support. God bless. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. The frog every day. As you know, my name is Tegan. I am the founder of That Loving Voice. I invite you to join our Facebook page at That Loving Voice. We are building community there, so don't be shy to pop in, say hello. It'll be good to see you, get to know you more. Don't be shy to comment below if you have any questions or concerns or any requests for how I can serve you. Thank you for your donations, for those of you who are supporting the channel. And I'll see you next time. Bye.